Hello, everybody, and welcome to Athletic Definition. My name is Coach Ray Z, and this is episode 101. Today is Friday, April 29th. It is pretty much the end of the month. We're going to be closing out the month. Looking forward to May 1st. On May 1st, I will be running the OC Marathon, which is this Sunday. And so what I decided to do was to do a sneak preview for anybody who happens to be a local in Southern California. The OC stands for Orange County. It is comprised of different cities. Basically, the course, it starts in Fashion Island, which is pretty much Newport Beach, which is beautiful. And as you're running, I can't remember what mile. When I do the video edit to this on YouTube or Spotify, you will see where I'm talking about. But as you're running towards the beach, you just see the ocean view and the sunrise. This marathon, it starts super early. It starts at 5:30 in the morning. So at 5:30 in the morning, you're already running, so you get to see the sunrise. As you're running, as I mentioned, you're in Newport Beach, and then from there, I believe you go into Irvine, you go into Santa Ana, and Costa Mesa is where you end up. You end up finishing the marathon in the OC Fairgrounds, which is great because they have plenty of places for family, anyone, loved ones who want to go and show you support, fans. They can go, and there is a $10 parking fee. But with that $10 parking fee, you can basically guarantee that you're going to have a good time because they have music, they have live bands. They're going to do on Saturday. They're actually kind of doing a pretty large event. They're going to have some angels. I don't know when they mean some angels, if it's going to be major players or minor players. They're going to have Los Angeles Rams players as well. I can't remember which is the other professional team they're having. They're having the 5K for the kids, and that one I believe is like at 5. No, it's pretty early, but I don't want to give the wrong time. It's probably like 8 in the morning. That's for the kids. So today you can go pick up your bib starting today till 8 p.m. I didn't want to go today because there's just a lot of traffic on Friday. I live in Azusa, which is San Gabriel Valley. But this year I was selected as one of the ambassadors for OC Marathon. Even though I'm an ambassador for OC Marathon, it's not like I've never ran it before. I have a couple of the medals here that I've done in the past. This is the 2015 finishing marathon medal. This is the 2017 finishing medal for the marathon. And this one right here is the 2018 finishers marathon. They also have the half marathon, the 5K. The 5K for the kids and adults will be tomorrow. As I mentioned, I'm not quite sure. You can check out the website, ocmarathon.com. And you can see the time for the children. The adults is at 5 p.m. and it would also be at the OC Fairgrounds. So what happens is you can go starting today, pick up your bib. If you don't know what a bib is, a bib is basically the number that you wear when you're running a race. So you go pick up your bib, and then you could either stay and watch the races. They have a called like a double crush combo, where if you're running the 5K on Saturday and then any race, which I believe would be the half marathon or marathon on Sunday, you get double t-shirts, of course, double medals, and an extra bonus medal. I'm not participating in that this year, but in the future, I definitely would like to do that. Sounds like a fun event. I always like the bonus medals, especially when I first started running. This is for everyone listening in. Thank you very much. This will be my 57th marathon that I will be completing this Sunday. Right now, I'm currently at 56. I do have one virtual, but I don't count a virtual marathon because basically you can't take that number or that time and submit it to, say, for example, the Boston Marathon, which is like the Super Bowl, the Mecca for all marathoners. You can't take that and submit a virtual time. There's really no evidence, nothing to prove that you ran it. It's kind of like your word. You're using an app. You can't use that to submit it to get into the New York Marathon. So for that reason, one of my many goals in athletics is to reach 100 marathons. And right now I'm at 56. I never thought I would even get close to it. But now that I'll be accomplishing Marathon 57 this Sunday, I'm like, wow, it definitely is possible. And so now, as I've mentioned, if you got to listen to yesterday's podcast, which was episode 100, it's expensive. Marathons are expensive depending which ones you want to do, especially if you want to do bigger ones. If they're like a national brand or a local race, like for example, the OC Marathon, the one I'm going to be doing this Sunday, that's a local race. National one would be a rock and roll race. Rock and roll used to, maybe they're still owned, but I believe they got sold. They got bought by Ironman. Ironman, it's a popular race, so they have races all over the world. They used to have a lot of marathons, but now I think if you check, they might only have like 3 marathons. Most of them are half marathons. Half marathons are really, really popular amongst, I would say, the average person. Marathons are, I believe, like 1% of the population will run it. Not too many people will do it. And then when you look at those numbers, there'll be repeat offenders like myself who keep running marathons over and over. And so that number, I would really like to know what the number is, but regardless, even if you run a half marathon, that's an accomplishment. To me, my whole goal is to get people to work out or want to work out or, find the fun, the enjoyment in working out. Don't look at it as something, a drag, or I have to go, it's like I get to do it instead of I have to, and just have fun. That's something that's not mentioned a lot in the fitness industry. And I would like for more people to think about it, having fun. Tomorrow, I will get to run with one of my friends who started running because of me. And now we're battling to see who gets to 100 marathons first. And it's just something fun that we do. It's between us. And then if you just go and you run a race, typically the race is always against my biggest critic. It's against me, myself. I am my biggest critic. I am the biggest shit talker. I am the biggest that's it. That's all you're going to do. Or you're not going to go for a better time, or you're going to act like you're hurting. And also it's this is what you love. Keep going. This pain, and this year for the OC Marathon, I feel very well prepared. I got to run a lot more. It's been very super hectic for me. If you've followed my journey from not having a car to coaching people to doing a podcast to having to look for a part-time job and kind of traveling because I live in Los Angeles. It's super expensive. And that's why if you heard the show, I was talking about sponsorships. I also compete in basketball, the Nike 3-on-3 tournament, jiu-jitsu. If you talk to any athlete who would be considered like a weekend warrior, they would tell you that whatever passion they do is, kind of expensive. You times that by one sport or 2 sports, and it can definitely get expensive. So my whole goal out here is basically to inspire people, get people to move, get active. And since I'm doing the OC Marathon, I am one of the ambassadors. I don't know if online registration is still open or not. You can definitely go to the OC Fairground today and tomorrow, still register. If they take it, let them know. It's called Ray Runs 10, and you'll get 10% off any race, the kids, the 5K, the half or the full marathon. I'm running the full marathon. They have a beer garden after. I'd love to have you come up and say, hey, I heard you want to say hi before the marathon, during the marathon, or at the beer garden where I will be celebrating number 57. So if you happen to be in the Southern California OC area, I'd love to see you. Make sure you let me know. Today there will be, as I mentioned, it's already, you can go get your bib up until 8. They will be having like wine testing. I believe this year from what I heard is they teamed up with White Claw, but they will also have beer. If you have our legacy, which means you've done, typically a legacy means that you've done all the races since the inaugural race of the marathon, half marathon. So that makes your legacy, but some are more lenient than others and they reward the runners. If you do them frequently or every year, or, often. So I'm a legacy in the OC, and if you are a legacy, you get to go into this extra corral, and you get like an extra slice of pizza, and also an extra drink. And when I mean drink, I mean beer. So yeah, let's give a hands of applause for that. Nothing like having a nice cold beer after running 26.2 miles. I will also have the 5K tomorrow at 5 p.m. And in the meantime, they will have, like, for people waiting, they'll have a live band. They'll have a DJ from K Rock, which is a local station out here in LA, close it out. And they changed the course during the pandemic. Of course, a lot of races had to change the date and their routes and things like that. So they had it in November last year, November 7th. And I guess they like the new course, so they're going to keep that same course that was changed in November 7th. Typically, this is always the first weekend of May. And because of the pandemic, they had to change it, but they decided to keep the course. So anyone running or participating in the 5K this year will be running a new course. You'd have to look it up on the website. I do not know the course. They will also be having goos. If people don't know what goos are, they're basically like little bags like this big, and they're just broken down gel. It's just gel, and instead of you having to eat food and then waiting for the food to break down so that you can take the nutrients or sugars that from it, it's already like broken down. So it's supposed to hit you quicker. You could take one pre-workout and then one every 45 minutes. I don't know how many stations there will be with goose, so I recommend, if you're running it, especially the marathon, and you're going to use that or the gummies, you want to take some prior, because you never know by the time you get there if they have some or not. Orange County Marathon is pretty good about everything. They take care of the runners. They will also have Cliff Bars in 2 sections of the race. I couldn't tell you specifically, but if you look on the website, it'll tell you. One of the things that I never took advantage of when I first started running marathons or half marathons or anything like that is taking a pair of sandals and being comfortable. Your feet swell up. In general, because I know people run with, I know runners who've run like 500 marathons plus, and Olympians. So there's always the exception to the rule. But in general, after running a lot of mileage, your foot's going to swell up. So because your foot swells up, you want to get about half size to a size bigger on your shoe to be comfortable. Then when you're done with the race, especially a marathon, for me, my foot is already swollen. I like to take my sandals. They will have clear bags for you. One of the cool things is you take whatever you want. Say it's going to be cold. The race is starting at 5:30 in the morning. If you're doing the half marathon, it's starting at 6:15 in the morning, so it won't be as cold. Beautiful, perfect weather this weekend in Southern California to run. Not too hot, not too cold. And then you give, they have a deal with a UPS, and you give your see-through bag to them, and then they take it to the end and you can pick it up. And then I change from my shoes to my sandals because, as I mentioned, my feet are swollen by then, and I'm waiting for the people to finish. So I try to be as comfortable as possible. Anything that you may want to take with you, I recommend it. But also nothing of value that would be really super heartbreaking to you, that if it got lost or stolen, you would be like, damn, I lost it. So, but it's very convenient. If you've never taken advantage of it, I definitely recommend it. There will be no water in the beginning of the race, but starting at mile, I can't remember, pretty early, they will be having 7 to 8 water stations throughout the race. They will be doing Gatorade. A lot of races now try and bring in some other form of electrolyte. And not that I'm not willing to experiment or try different things, but in general, Gatorade is one of the things that most people are used to. And it's surprising, or if you've never ran and tried to digest liquid and continue running and also burping, if you're switching the type of supplement, the type of electrolyte that you're drinking, it could cause some issues. So that's one thing that I like about the OC Marathon. They're thinking about the runner, so they're going with the classic fruit punch Gatorade. And you can see those throughout the race. It'll be 7 to 8 water stations. Now there is a course limit. the course limit is 7 hours and 7 hours to finish the race. So if you don't finish the race by then, you don't get a medal. You also get pulled off the course. They do something interesting. They call it the balloon lady, and she is like the last of everybody. The marathoners go at 5:30 in the morning, and then they try and give the most separation between the half marathoners and the marathoners. Since it starts like in Fashion Island, if you're running the half marathon, you are going to run about roughly 11 miles of that half marathon on Newport Beach, and then maybe the rest in Costa Mesa. Costa Mesa, because you're going to end up in the Orange County Fairground. So Newport Beach, if you're listening, I know I have a lot of listeners from the UK and Canada and India and all around the world. So I appreciate it. Newport Beach it's pretty baller. It's a pretty baller area. Very nice homes. It's very nice to be running through those neighborhoods early in the morning. And as I mentioned, I'll put on video that little, I captured on GoPro as you're running up the street, and then you see the ocean view right there. That is probably my favorite part of the race. It's so early in the race. That, and of course, always the finish line. You never get the thrill of the finish line. It doesn't get old, I would say. Maybe the feelings and the euphoria you feel after could definitely change. Right now, I'm blessed because the LA Marathon was in March, and March, like late March. So I'm still having like a nice natural high from that. And as that starts to wear down, now I have the OC Marathon, and that's going to take me like further. We all go through challenges in life, but when you kind of feel more motivated or inspired, that gets my mojo going, that gets my flames going. And I'm like, well, if I did this, I can do this, and I can take on more, and si se puede, and let's do it. So I get pumped up by doing these races or competitions. And then after that, I'm, thinking about what else I can do to just keep going and keep myself inspired and motivated. I'm trying to inspire other people, but I know if I'm not actually living what I'm saying, I don't want to be one of these phonies. And I don't know. I mean, some people are okay with it, but I'm not. I'll get back to the balloon lady. So after the half marathoner start, she will be the last one to go after the last half marathoner. So pretty much if she passes you up, you're going to be done. They do try to be as nice as it can, but basically it breaks down to 16 minutes per miles. So if you can't complete a mile in 16 minutes, for the full marathon, you're probably not going to make it. You'll probably have to, take a DQ on it, and that's okay. You can always come back and try again. But just be aware there is a time limit, because why is there a time limit? People close down the streets. The cars got to start going. There's volunteers to give water. They can't be out there all day. If the race starts at 5:30 in the morning and you start running and say mile 2, there's some kid out there giving you a cup of water. They got up even earlier than you to be there. So make sure that if you see any volunteers, tell them thank you. I always do. I definitely appreciate all the volunteers everywhere. If you've never come to the California, besides Los Angeles, we have many different beautiful parts. We have, of course, Northern California, Southern California, San Diego, Orange County. And if you get to basically run through Irvine, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, end at the Orange County Fairground. They're going to have a band. I forget the name of the band. They're in a cover band, I think 80s. I could be wrong. And then when you're running at the end, that you kind of run right in front of the band. So that's pretty cool. And then there's people cheering you on, and you can see just like pretty much the ending. Then you kind of go around and loop. I've done it. It seems like forever since I've done it last time, because I paid for this race back in like 2019, pre-COVID. I had just done the race the year before, 2018, and I paid for my race. And then, the pandemic happened, and I deferred the race and deferred it. And now it's finally happening. So it seems like it's been forever since I ran this race, and things are, slowly but surely getting back to normal. I'm if people ask me, do you get nervous? At this point, I don't get nervous. This is going to be my 57th marathon. I don't get like the rage of excitement where I can't sleep or anything like that. Right now, the excitement I have more is just because, you know, it's going back to the way it was. Just this is something I've done for many years, as I showed you with the medals, just being able to run, being able to participate in local races. And I'm just more excited about getting back to the way things were. And people just enjoying themselves, having a good time. As I mentioned, don't think of if you sign up for a race, well, oh, I have to. Although I'm competitive, and especially in the beginning, super competitive. I could have been definitely a douchebag about how competitive I was. But think about enjoying yourself, especially if you're just starting out. You know, signing up. Talk some friends into signing up with you. Even if you have to walk the 5K, we all start somewhere. I couldn't run a mile without drinking some sort of hydration, some water, and now I can go 10 miles without drinking hydration. Just because I can go 10 miles doesn't mean I should or that I do it, but I'm saying I built my body up to be able to do that. And I consider myself an average person, never super strong, never with that athletic gift. Everything that I've done has been the wrong way, and that's how I learned. And it's up to you, because a lot of times people were willing to show me, but I was too stubborn. I'd be like, nah, I could do it my way, and you can do it that way, or you could take from my experience. And, they say don't eat anything different before the race. I've done it. Don't eat anything different the day before. I've done it. Don't run with any new shoes. I've done it. Just I've gone to buffets the night before. Everything I've drank till the whole night before, just everything you shouldn't do. I've experienced it. So if you're looking to do a race, short notice or anything like that, you can always contact me. I'm more than happy to guide you. If you decide you want my training, I'm happy to help you. If you're just looking to finish, get started, I'm happy to help you with that as well. And as I mentioned, anyone who is doing this race, is just kind of a little preview, get an idea. The course overall is great. One of the reasons why I like this course is I have my PR, which means personal record. Personal record means that that's been your best time. So I got under 4 hours marathon there, and I want to do it again. One of the reasons why I feel that if you are looking to PR, this is a great course. Overall, there's not a lot of elevation. And if you look at pretty much any race, the race director or whoever's writing the race is going to be like, oh, it's a flat course. Not true. There are always inclines. They're like this, and they're like, oh, it's a relatively like flat course. And then you run it, and like, this is what you consider flat. You guys are crazy. I bet you didn't run it, whoever wrote this. But Orange County overall, flat course. And if coming off doing LA Marathon, with even after the pandemic, they probably had, I don't know, 18,000 runners, which is small compared to in the past where they've had like 23,000, 25,000. That's the normal, usually from 23,000 to 25. So it seems like less. Regardless, in the beginning, you're crammed up. You're kind of like shoulder to shoulder in some places, depending on what corral you're at, and if people are actually listening to corrals, and if they have enough volunteers to keep people in the correct corral. And the corral, if you've never run, is it's based on your time or what time you think you're going to finish. The closer you get to the front, you're usually an elite runner or marathoner. After that, you're supposed to submit your times and show that previously you've ran a race at a certain finishing time, where you are able to get into a front corral so that you have a chance to try and finish faster. And then after that, it's based on kind of honor roll. If excuse me. Yeah, after that, it's based on honor roll. So if you think you're that fast and you can do it, people always cheat. It messes up the race. Excuse me. Because there is runners a lot, but let's say when I mean a lot of, let's say 5,000 runners, you're not going to be, and from the past races I've done, you're not shoulder to shoulder with them. Everyone is pretty honest about their pace because you're not maybe spending about 2 to 3 miles, wasting a lot of time weaving in and out of people, trying to get into your rhythm, trying to get into your cadence, trying to get into your pace of running, because you don't have to do that and you can just start running. I really enjoy the course because if you want to try and PR, you want that space. You don't want that crowdedness. The energy is great, but you spend a lot of time just weaving in and out or trying to get to the corner like I do and just run as much, and then you're still cutting in and out. So you waste a lot of energy, a lot of time that you could be using. And if you get into smaller races, which I've done marathons with, like maybe 20 some people or maybe less. So I've done small marathons and I've done large marathons. And the smaller ones, as far as you getting off to a good start and not blaming it on having to weave in and out, those are really good. Also, supporting local races is good. For a local race, they give you so many conveniences that larger races don't. So, for example, let's say I'm just super busy or I have to work tomorrow and I can't go pick up my bib. They let you, with written permission and I think a copy of your ID, let a friend go and pick it up for you, which is great. A lot of races don't do that. Deferment is, hey, I can't make it, this year. Can I change it to next year? They allow that. Other races, you lose your money, and it's a lot of money that you give as a runner. And so I think that they should definitely allow deferments. That convenience to me is really great. They have a VIP tent where if you want to pay an extra $130, you get like breakfast and other like a heater and other treats. I've never been in the VIP, but who knows? Maybe I could sneak my way into it. I'll let you guys know. And OC Marathon organizers, if you're listening to that, I was only kidding. I won't try to sneak in. No, I won't. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, it depends. And if I get in, then I'll let you know where your security leaks are. So it'll all be for like in a positive way. It wouldn't be like I'm just trying to get that breakfast omelet that my friend told me about because he paid for it last time. So yeah, that sounds pretty good because honestly, I did it once, and you're not supposed to do this, but like I said, I've done it all. I got egg McMuffins from McDonald's one time in Las Vegas for the Vegas Marathon. I was starving. When Vegas Marathon, Rock and Roll Vegas first started, it was a smaller race, and then Rock and Roll bought it. And then when Rock and Roll started it, it was in the morning. So you started like at 5 a.m. Now they eliminated the marathon, so there's no more marathon, and it's at night. It's a night race. The very cool part about it, if you've never done it, you want to do a race, is they shut down the whole strip and you get to run on the strip. They only close the Las Vegas strips 2 times a year. It's during New Year's and then during the Rock and Roll half marathon. That part, if you've never ran the strip, it's very cool. You get to, of course, Vegas, it. You get a bunch of running Elvises. There's people that wear a tie. Not people. The guys wear like the t-shirts that look like a tuxedo, and the ladies wear like a veil. And they'll run, and as they're running, they'll go through the Paris replica. I forget the name of it. I think it's just called the Eiffel Tower. And as they're running through, they have the priests there, and they'll get married. So they'll do a run-by wedding in Las Vegas during a race, so you can get married as you're running and then continue. Then you get to Old Town, and then you pretty much finish the race. So that's very nice. But when it started, it was in the morning. So I partied all night, drank all night, got to the hotel like at 4 a.m, laid down, and then my friend's alarm goes off, so he starts getting all pumped up, and I was like just like so tired. And then as I'm running, someone gave me a beer, and I thought that'd be a great idea, and it was for the first half when there's people cheering you on, and then the second half, which I could see why they discontinued it. The second part is you're running outside of Vegas. There's nothing but desert and nothing cool to see. So it was miserable. It was windy, and that was definitely a learning experience. But yet I think I went back and did the same thing like 2 more years in a row, or maybe 4, up until they changed it to the daytime. I haven't gone back. I mean, to the nighttime. I haven't gone back since, but looking to go back to a lot of races that I've done in the past. Now that everything's changing, a lot more competitions, let you know what I do to prepare, see, and hopefully you can let me know of things that you are getting into that you're going to try. And so if you're going to be doing it this Sunday, I look forward to seeing you. Also, if you're looking to do any other races, look forward to seeing you in those as well. I look forward to, I mentioned I want to do 100 marathons, but now that I'm at 57, I'm like, I could slow it down and try and do, because one of my other goals is to run a marathon in each state. So 50 marathons in all 50 states. That would take me way longer. So then I wouldn't reach 100 marathons as quick. So now I'm thinking, well, do the 100 marathons quick and then still do the 50 marathons from 50 states, which will probably take me maybe another, I don't know how many years that'll take me, but that would definitely be fun. And I've thought about it for years, and to kind of document, hey, this is me running 50 marathons in 50 states, and have people come along and run those same marathons. So race directors looking to organize hotels, anything like that, we could definitely plan something out, and we could broadcast it live on Fireside. It'll be a win-win for everybody. 50 marathons in 50 states. And since I do jiu-jitsu and they only do that in running, I thought about that too. I'm like, that'd be so cool if I could do competitions in each state in jiu-jitsu. In marathons, I've done 3 states. I've done Nevada, Arizona, California. In jiu-jitsu, I've only competed in California, but now that the seed is planted, we'll see what we could work out. That's long term, to be a content creator, working out, and just motivating people to chase whatever passion it may be. It may not be working out, but working out will definitely help you stay more mobile, more relaxed, reduce the stress, help you stay healthy, especially during these hectic times. If you look at the diabetes, the high blood pressure, all these things, a lot of these things are preventable. A lot of these things can be, dealt with what we eat, which is, that's a probably bigger battle than working out. So I hope if you are running those marathon, I give you kind of a good idea. Overall, the course will be good. You'll have plenty of room. I've never done the half. The half tip, as I mentioned, since the most popular, they will probably have more people overall. But since the marathoners don't start at the same time, I think that reduces a lot of the congestion in the beginning of the race. So I think you'll be good. You'll enjoy it overall, especially that running 11 miles in Newport Beach, which is really nice. You guys will have a great race. The weather seems perfect to be running. So I look forward to this race, this marathon. I'm mentally ready. I feel more physically ready than for LA Marathon, which was, I think March 20 something, not too long ago, but I definitely feel way more better, and I'm looking to redeem my previous time that I did in LA Marathon. Not happy about that. So when this is over, I'll be coming back and I'll give you an Orange County Marathon 2022 recap, and looking forward to having more guests. So thank you everybody for joining me. I see the message from Elizabeth. I need to run more, train more, little by little. I think that one of the hardest things to do is to start. And once you start, you always feel better. And I would say that a lot of people just feel like, oh, you've run so many marathons, you don't have to get ready for it. That's a misconception. And the other thing is that a misconception is that I'm always like motivated and gung-ho to go work out. And that's far from the truth. I struggle a lot, like other people, to get out that door, and if I don't get out that door, then I have workout equipment here at home, and sometimes I struggle to do it as well. There's some people, and man, if you're like that, that is so great. But I think that a lot of these fitness gurus that we see are just doing some unrealistic things. And as much as I love that extreme shit like David Goggins. I don't think that the average person is going to do that. And that doesn't, as he says, oh, my inner bitch, that doesn't make you an inner bitch. You have kids, responsibilities, husbands, wives, medical conditions. So everybody's got their own thing. Just as long as you're trying, and no one can judge effort but yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but at the same time, just little by little work out. And telling friends, hey, let's go for a walk, let's go for a run, making a commitment. It's free, and that's a great way to get started as well. And right now, with the way the weather is in Southern California, hopefully in whatever part of the world you are, the weather's pretty nice where you can start getting together with people and enjoying it. Summertime's coming up as well. That'll be like in June 20th, here before you know it. They say summer times are made in the winter. Although it is spring, doesn't mean you can't get the summer body as ready as possible. And setting goals, maybe you missed it for this year, but you can start now, and by next year, it'll be a whole different thing. Take some before and after pictures. But yeah, I definitely encourage anybody to start working out, find your passion, find whatever floats your boat, whatever type of activity that you enjoy. I think I mentioned the other day about bowling. Like if you never work out, and some people be like, bowling, and I'm like, yeah, I used to be one of these like very harsh critics that be like, oh, that's not even workout, but you could drink beer, and that's true. But if you're not active at all, and I'm talking like you're still just coming off the couch, you're not active, that's probably maybe depending on your condition. And there's so many scenarios. That's why everything I do is like individualized plans. But you're probably not ready to start doing some crazy shit, the average person, because I see a lot of people like, oh, it's that annual turkey bowl, or it's that random basketball game. Let me tear my Achilles, let me tear my ACL, because I think I could just do what I did 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Not saying that it's not possible. I train for you to be able to do that. I train for you to be able to do what you need to do without having to warm up your muscles, because when this shit hits the ceiling, just like in jiu-jitsu, anything like that, you're not practicing for like, no attacker's going to be like, oh, you need to stretch. Oh, you need to warm up, and in some of these big marathons, you don't have that space to really stretch. In these smaller marathons, I'll have space enough this Sunday to kind of stretch if I need to, touch my toes if I need to. And some of these other ones, I don't have. If I do, I'm going to be hitting people. So that's another advantage to a smaller race. You could kind of get more loose. And then there's so much material, whether you should stretch before a race or not stretch before a race, if it helps with, the fast twitch muscle, or if it slows it down. That is very debatable. There's so much different literature. I enjoy looking into it all. And, I a huge Bruce Lee fan, if you're kind of learning that, but huge Bruce Lee fan. One of his best quotes, informations, he would always say, and I live by, is take what is useful and disregard what isn't. Some things may work for you. Some things may not. Some things may work for me. Some things may not. Some things may work for me 10 years ago, and now they won't. Like I was talking about those goos as you're running. Some people can take those in the beginning, and then their stomach can't just stomach it anymore. And then they have to take the gummies. I used to not be able to eat the gummies. Now I can eat the gummies. So just be willing. Our body will keep changing. And as I mentioned, I take inspiration from everybody. So Dreyer, I can't remember his first name, Dr. something Dreyer. He would always say, not to fall in love with your body, because our body's going to change. And he wasn't like a fitness person. He believed like in the Tao a lot and spoke about the Tao. And it's true, your body's not going to look the same when it's a teen, in its 20s and its 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So be okay with it changing, but that doesn't mean that you have to completely give up on it and not try to do your part in keeping yourself in shape, and in shape for everybody will be different based on the obstacles, the time that they have in life. I understand some people are like working multiple jobs, going to school, and they're still doing it. Some people don't feel bad if you can't do it and you're doing less. There's many different literatures as well saying, there's like the people that you might see, oh, I see them posting 5 days a week that they're working out. And they may be working out 5 days a week or 6 days a week, and maybe you only get to do it like 3 times. The efficiency that you do it those 3 times could equal that person going 5 or 6 days, just depending on how how efficient you are, what you're doing in your workout. If you're going to go, say, to the gym and you're going to spend 3 hours there and 2 of those hours are talking to people and then the other 30 minutes are taking selfies, you're definitely not going to be getting the results that you want. So it is what you put into it. And I hope everyone has enjoyed this OC Marathon 2022 preview. I've enjoyed being an ambassador for them last year and this year, and I look forward, hopefully, for them having me back for the upcoming year. I would love to see more people start working out, start running. It doesn't matter what type of workout you do, if it's basketball, baseball, walking, cricket, yoga, it doesn't really matter. Salsa dancing, just get active, enjoy yourself, have a good time while you're doing it. The endorphins, although I got to look into it. My cousin, who is a nurse, told me she has never felt the endorphins, and I wonder, and I'm sure that there's probably a small percentage of people that have never felt that endorphins rush. And then, of course, the runner's high is so notorious. For just people feeling good. The runner's high is supposed to be that you just really feel good, and it's supposed to be that if you run maybe at about 70% of your maximum heart rate for about 30 minutes, you'll feel that good, like, extra pep in your step. So try that out, and see if the most you can do is walk. Try walking it, and the 70 kind of, not gun-ho. If you had a stick shift, which I believe stick shift is going out of style, and they say most people won't drive them, but it's not like putting it in fifth gear right away. It's kind of like leaving it in third, and you'll see a lot more results doing it that way. So if you're running it, be sure to look for me. I will be there. I don't know my bib number. I won't know it till tomorrow. Next week, I'll come back and I'll give you the recap, let you know how it went, how I felt, my time, how the training overall, like I said, has been better. It's been better than it was for LA. I just did a 9-mile run yesterday. If I get the chance, I'll try and see if I could get maybe a mile or two in tomorrow. It'll be really difficult. I already know. The race starts at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday. So for me to even be there, that means I'll be up like at 3 something in the morning. It'll be a hectic day, but I really enjoy it. Once you do it, I recommend it. It's pretty addicting. That's why I keep doing it. This will be number 57. So I will see you next week with a recap and hopefully a guest for the second show. This is Athletic Definition, live here on Fireside every Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time zone. My name is Coach Ray Z. This is episode 101. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Till next time.